My life has been influenced by the arts in several ways. I guess the first thing I learned about performing and trying to be a musician is it requires discipline. After that, I learned respect and appreciation for other musicians and the great artists, friendship. A lot of friendships I've developed by my involvement in the arts, as well as education and study. People who helped my development in music, I would firstly say my parents. My mother always would listen to like classical music. She had these 78 records and she would be playing Strauss and Beethoven and all the waltzes and dancing and trying to get us to dance. So that part of the music came from my mother. And then in elementary school I started on clarinet. I guess it was just one day where they asked did anyone want to play instruments, so I ended up with a clarinet. And as I brought it home and would practice it, every day, I would get a lot of encouragement from my mother. I mean, I could be hitting all kind of bad notes, but she would recognize the melody and just say, "Oh, try it again, it sounds much better," and just constant encouragement. Well, also in elementary school where I started, my first instructor was Estella Frankel. She was a violin teacher, but she's taught me clarinet as well. And have to give her a lot of credit too, because she kept encouraging me and disciplining me to practice correctly and do the right things. Later on, I guess it would have been Boise, Robert Lowry, who was, I would say, the greatest instructor I've ever had, and I give all the credit to him. In college I had Joe Viola, saxophone teacher, Andy McGee, who was also a saxophone instructor, and several other people. So then it was a lot of local musicians who helped me at Len Foster, Leander Howell, my cousin Ronnie Brown, who was a professional saxophonist, Clarence Brown, who was a pianist, who helped me a lot. And the list goes on and on. So what I get out of teaching is the self-satisfaction that I've helped somebody step over a hurdle or a problem they may have been having on their instrument or learning a piece of music. So I get a lot of satisfaction from that. Even later on in life, if they have stopped playing, but if they have, done something positive with their life, then I'm satisfied. And I run into students that I've taught, years ago, and they're doing well with their lives. Some are involved in music, some are music teachers, but they all seem to be doing well. So I'm sure the music helped them a lot. Different students require different tactics in your teaching, so each one is a challenge. One thing I found out every day, like when I came to Christina to teach, after I learned my students, I had to treat each one differently. And it did help me also. It helped me find other ways to instruct someone to get my message across. I do think it's important to recognize the artists in manners such as this, because it does keep this legacy going on. It puts it in, it makes everyone aware of it. That teachers have, put in the time, and now they're being awarded for it, for their efforts. My wife Notra, my son Vernon, my daughter Tanika, my older son Robert, my brother and sister Craig and Pam James, and many others. I thank them for their support throughout the years and their understanding of, like, when I'm out on the road and trying to make a living. They stood behind me and were there when I got back. So, and they encouraged me all the way. So those are some special people to me.